Welcome back to the News Hour tonight. We have a lot of feedback coming in from Kashmir and across the entire country to the tape we showed earlier on the show this evening of a Hurriyat leader instructing one of his activists to ensure at least 10 to 15 people are killed in the protest. We will be running that tape later once again on the News Hour tonight. But let's go to our second subject of focus on the show this evening. Reams have been written and enough telecast on news channels on caste killings that seem to happen with alarming regularity. But today, when the government had a chance, a real and immediate chance to bring about a progressive change in the law, our ministers stood divided. The cabinet has now formed a group of ministers to look into the matter, which is being looked at by some as a delaying tactic. The one question we are looking at on News Hour tonight really is that choice between our elected representatives is vote banks on the one side, progressive laws on the other. Is that the right way of looking at it? If you want to make a change, politicians can force a change. If they wish to prevaricate about it, they can hand it over to a GOM and perhaps many more other committees. Now, Mr. Chidambaram personally said that this will be pushed before the monsoon session of Parliament. But when it goes to state governments, well, nobody knows how quickly that will happen. On News Hour tonight, our debate is, will caste killers wait for a new law? Politicians may endlessly delay a new law, but caste killers won't wait. Kiran Bedi, thank you very much for joining us. Girish Deshpande of the Professionals Party of India, thank you very much. Siddharth Nath Singh of the BJP and Abhishek Manu Singhvi of the Congress Party. Welcome. Why was this opportunity lost, Dr. Singhvi?
Hello?
Dr. Singhvi, my question is simple. Why did the government lose the opportunity of pushing through such a much needed law?
No, Arnav, there is no question of losing the opportunity. Look at the other side of it. It is this government which is initiating a new opportunity, a new initiative.
Yes.
You have to still get it right. We are not talking of abandoning, of postponing, of delaying. We are talking of a slight deferment when constructive, solid inputs will come so that you will have a better legislation. If somebody tells you, no less than the Home Minister, that you are going to put in something in the monsoon session of Parliament, the monsoon session is less than 2.5 weeks later. Well, that's the initiation. As far as the state governments are concerned, that's part of the Raja process, which for any change you have to do. That time which will be taken in any case. Now, the point is that this is something which you have to get it right, nuance in terms of the sections, the nitty-gritty of the legal provision. There are 4 explanations to section 300. A 5th one would be added. So you have to work out those nuances. A few weeks doesn't matter. But look at the intent. The intent is you are attacking specifically a CAP issue now.
No, but there is a delay. One can understand that delay when something controversial like Bhopal goes to the GO. I don't understand how this, where there can be any controversy over it. And you know, Dr. Singhvi, let me get a second point of view, Dr. Singhvi. I'll come back straight to you. You know, there are
only one second.
Okay.
Only 1 second. There is no division on the principle. The division is on the nitty-gritty of the language, how best to have a comprehensive provision.
Why be so careful?
The delay for a couple of weeks is that.
No, but why? What is the need to be careful? When, you know, how can we afford to be careful? 10 people are killed in 2010, one caste killing, honor killing every 3 days, 1,000 in a year. Let me get Kiran Bedi in. Kiran Bedi.
I think there is a reason for a delay. There could be a justified reason for a considered delay, because all they're asking for, as I heard the press conference by Mrs. Ambika Soni, where she said that they've gone back to the states to get the states' views and that there's a GOM, but they'll put it to the monsoon session. If they stick to the deadline, then I think they are preempting an issue, because they can be accused of not having taken states' views on record. And secondly, I think with having states' views on record, they will exactly know the position each state is taking, because it is a fact that the CAP is a vote bank, because a Hindustan Times survey did say that 86% were in favor of no marriages between these Gotras. So they were in favor of these kinds of bans. Therefore, I think they are preempting, giving a little time when so much has been lost, asking the states to declare their stand, and then having a GOM, and then time bounding to get a monsoon session. I think is a good politically correct method.
You see, I am worried that what happened to the women's bill for so many years, a very good idea that got stuck in a political logjam because nobody wanted to be the first to change the status quo. Now, Girish Deshpande, this seems to be something similar. Nobody wants to be the first to change a status quo. They want to take the credit for it and say they are progressive when it happens. But they want to stick their neck out because they may lose votes.
Absolutely. Having said that, I think you must understand that the Professionals Party of India was the first political party in India to have taken a stand on this, had the balls to take a stand on this, and had written to the Honorable Home Minister on 18th of June saying that this Khap Panchayat and all kinds of moral policing are unconstitutional, they're extra constitutional activities and must be condemned, not only disbanded but even disarmed, and the term completely illegal and unconstitutional. Having said that, I think there is no doubt in even imagining that something like this is, there is no honor in any kind of killing. Any wanton killing is disgraceful and is a dishonor to begin with. And if there is a killing, then what is the government doing? Now, my friend Mr. Singhvi just spoke about the government thinking about this. Now, I have got a case over here of Vedpal Mohan. In March 09, the Khap Panchayat met and they decided that there will be a killing of this gentleman because he wanted to take his wife away from the clutches of his family. And in June 09, they actually killed this gentleman. So they actually executed it after a large panchayat meeting. So what is the government doing? I mean, why do you need 1 year to wake up and find new laws and stuff like that when this barbaric act is going on under your nose? Do you need 1 year to do that, or do you need a monsoon session for implementing something like this?
Yeah, that's the issue, you see, Siddharth. That's the issue. Politicians are wary. Let me put it very bluntly. Politicians are scared. They are scared that if they were the first, there are some laws parties want to take credit. In this case, neither the Congress nor the BJP want to take credit for changing this murderous practice of so-called honor killings. And the BJP too is in the same boat. Mr. Singh, with all respect.
Can I make another point here?
No, let me get a response from the BJP. Let me get a response from the BJP.
Okay.
I think when the government of the day is not taking a decision, when all the matters from energy to individual securities go to Pranab Mukherjee and the Prime Minister is also not willing to express his views, I think it will be very unfair that you want a comment when we don't have anything what the legislation the government proposes to bring.
You are avoiding taking a position.
Having said that,
you are avoiding taking a position.
The position is that any government of the day is sworn to the Constitution of India, and the Constitution of India even today protects any individual or any adult marriage. To that extent, the government must act, and today was a day the government should have moved forward rather than showing the intent. They have not shown the intent. The intent of 54 GOMs is to delay any decision making, and therefore that's what is happening today.
Since you have plunged at the government, I'll let Dr. Singhvi respond to that, only to keep it balanced. But you can't get away, Dr. Singh, by shooting off the government's shoulder, I'm afraid. You can't. You're
not shooting. I'm speaking a reality. What has just happened?
For balance sake on the discussion, I'll let Dr. Singhvi respond.
This is the precise problem. Something which is a socially burning issue should not become a politically slanging match. I think it's a completely non-political issue, and to politicize it is to completely avoid taking a concrete decision. Therefore, I completely deprecate these kind of political attacks. Number one, who has taken this initiative? Do you think that there was no Khap deaths earlier, prior to 2004?
Yes, there were.
If I was to take a political slanging match, would I say, why did the BJP in 6 years never think of any new initiative?
So you are taking the initiative because of the media pressure.
1 minute.
Because of media pressure, you are
No, 1 minute. Let me just complete. Secondly, it's important to remember. 1 minute.
I'll complete. I'll come to you after he completes.
I'll come to you after he completes. What happened before 2004? You get an opportunity.
Let me complete,
Arnab. That opportunity.
Let me complete. The second point is that it is very important to know that there is no such thing as a special category of murder involving Khap Panchayats. A murder is a murder is a murder. A murder is not justified because a bunch of people get together and start justifying it as a sanction of a local panchayat or a local set of people. Therefore, basically it is a matter of better policing, more quick prosecution,
No.
punishment and conviction, and that part has to be strengthened.
no,
Now, in addition to this, what we are now trying is to create a special offence to show the Congress UPA's focus that this is a very serious social malaise, and therefore a special
how can you-
additional explanation is sought to be engrafted into section 300.
so how can
I think
you-
that's a laudatory thing. Merely because it's deferred by a couple of weeks
So
or
how
3
can
weeks or
you-
4 weeks,
so how
it
can
should
you-
not consider it to be an abandonment.
Sorry, I want to get Kiran Bedi this. How can you blame better policing or lack of
We're
policing
digressing.
when the fact is that the strength of these Khap panchayats lies in the weakness of the political parties, which is why the people who are
Absolutely.
supporting the Khap panchayats get away. I want
Let
Kiran
me
Bedi to
tell
come.
you, Arnab, 2010 India is totally different.
Yeah.
There may be small local areas, 1 or 2, 5, 10 constituencies, but otherwise political parties
Two-
also do not today depend on such Khap panchayats because they have a larger constituency to answer.
Sir, a man
It's
called
true, there may
Mahendra
be
Singh
individual
Tikayat,
constituent and individual member.
a man called Mahendra Singh Tikayat uses the filthiest language to describe people who he said dare to marry within the same gotra. They are the kind of people who set out diktats. There is not a
Correct.
single
And
political
tell me-
party who has taken
and
him
tell
on.
me, you are right to name him, and tell me, Arnab, how much importance, scope, reach and perhaps relevance does Mr. Tikayat have
Probably
in
not.
today's electoral parliamentary politics?
Probably not. But
That's the point.
No.
Today, you see, an individual constituency MP, if you are an MP from a particular place,
No,
it's
so I'm-
possible there may be 5-10 MPs who are governed very
no,
much by this.
no, but
and
can I
that's
ask
in certain
you-
states.
No, I
but
don't
by
want
and
to
large,
get-
India is not so dependent
Dr. Singhvi.
that political parties will not take action
Dr.
because they are
Singhvi.
scared.
Topic. Let's come back on the question.
Get-
Let's come back to the question,
Arnab.
please.
No, 1 second.
Arnab,
Yeah, I'm getting
Arnab.
interruptions. Yeah, Kiran Bedi. Yes, Miss Bedi. Yes, Miss Bedi.
Arnab, I think you called 4 of us to speak and not 1 or 2.
Please.
If you called 4 of us to
Yes.
speak, then you must give equal opportunity to all 4 to contribute.
Absolutely.
Because we spend a valuable
well said.
evening time with you.
Sure, please go ahead.
So therefore, if you
Absolutely.
want my viewpoint, I will make, otherwise I can make an exit.
Miss Kiran Bedi, I am only letting others complete their point before I come to you. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, now I want to tell you, when you talked about policing, in India you have 2 kinds of policing. One police station or policing which dares to uphold the rule of law, which dares to treat the law equally, which will dare to take on a Khap panchayat, okay? That will be one kind of policing. Second policing is which seeks approvals from the politician or from the home departments to dare to act. Now, the majority of the second part is huge. Therefore, unless you bring in a law which also insulates the police from taking such action, you will not get justice. Therefore, we do need an amendment in the law. We do need a new law which handles collective crime. This is because this is almost a conspiratorial collective murder. Therefore, and also the burden of proof. So the amendments which are being proposed by the Law Ministry are well thought through, and I would suggest that it's good that they go through the process of state views so that states declare on paper what their view is. If the central government goes single-handed all on their own, they will have states not cooperating with them. So it's better that the states declare.
Ma'am, I have a very basic-ish question. Today there are 2 ministers, Mr. M.S. Gill and Mr. Kamal Nath, who apparently had reservations over. If 2 ministers can take this issue to a GOM, 1 minute, then what if, say, one state government or 2 state governments decide to say that, you know, we feel there should be a detailed inquiry into it before a law is brought in. I mean, that just makes the whole process endless.
Yeah, I want to come in here.
Oh, no,
Arnab,
I
want
think
to come
that
in
is
here.
when the state government, I think that is when the state government will get exposed. Did it want to go along with the negative, or did it want to assert its own duty?
No,
a
this
legal
is,
duty?
but this
That's
is,
all I have to say.
But this is not about exposing the state governments. It is about changing the way these people have taken the law for granted. It's not about exposing.
Absolutely.
Want to make a change? Make a change.
May I come in, please, here? Yeah, it's very simple. I mean, when there is an individual rape case that happens, you have fast-track courts and you have early settlements of these, and bring justice. Here you are actually raping the Constitution of India. So, what is the big deal in having such a lot of debate and things like that, and before you can have a law to enact it? Let me quote to you another case of Manoj and Babli. I think this was one of the first honor killings in India. Here there was a complete systemic failure of the executive, that is the police force, when 5 of them were sentenced under intense pressure from the media, and the police, it was found out that the police actually helped these people to kill that couple. Now here, how can the executive be pardoned in a case like this? That's the first point. The second point is, I think we began with the thing about political will. Obviously, everything has to come top down. If the systemic change has to be enforced, it has to be enforced top down. And if there is no political will, obviously it's clear that something like this will not be enforced. Now it comes back to what Ms. Bedi said some time back about appeasement of the vote bank. Yeah. And if this is going to continue about appeasement of various vote banks and various castes and various religions and castes and creeds, we will achieve nothing out of this from the country. We will go back to the dark ages.
Siddharth Singh and Dr. Singhvi. People will see through it. People across India have seen through it. They know that Khap Panchayats form strong vote banks for politicians. Why can't the political parties simply say, yes, they form strong vote banks, they have influence over voters, we find it convenient to woo them rather than take them on, but we will make a change. Today we will make a change. Yeah, okay, Siddharth Singh first and then Abhishek Singh. Yes.
Arnab, let me put this, that national parties do understand that you cannot hide a broccoli in a glass of a milk. We all, but the reality is we need to move forward. There is an opportunity. We need to define under the IPC 300 with Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi. He is a great lawyer. He is a big lawyer. This country he has expressed. But I think the definition needs to cover the Khap Panchayat. So legislation needs to be brought in to control or rein this
but it takes 5 minutes to do that if you want. No, it takes 5 minutes to do that.
What the government proposes, the BJP is willing to consider and come up with a reply in the debates in the parliament about
implementation.
No, Dr. Singhvi is an eminent lawyer. Dr. Singhvi knows that the proposed amendments to IPC section 300, Indian Evidence Act and the Special Marriage Act can be done in 5 minutes by the government if it wants. Now, if you want to delay it, if you want to shoot over someone's shoulder, well, that's another story.
Arnab, one basic point is being missed. After all, despite your doubts that there are vote banks, despite your doubts that political parties are colluding and avoiding the issue, despite your misgivings that political parties don't want this, are you not finding that an initiative for amendment of the law is on?
I am.
Do you think we will initiate, one minute. Do you think we will initiate the amendment in the law to have egg on our face and after 2 weeks come back and say we are not doing the amendment? What has happened is very simple. After all, we have initiated it. It is taking a few weeks. We are consulting state governments in any IPC provision like this. You should consult. It will be later on challenged, unnecessarily objective.
But who are we asking?
It will be some nitty-gritty nuances. Where is the question of avoiding the issue?
No, my question is, who are we asking, sir?
Just because you are saying that there are vote banks.
No, but who are we asking? We are asking, for example, a letter will go to the Haryana government, which has defended Khap Panchayats, claiming that they are being prosecuted under the Prevention of Unlawful Activities Act 1967 will be a rash step and will upset Haryana's law and order. Same state government will now write a letter and say, where do you stand? I mean, I don't quite understand the logic.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point, because when a state government, if a state government says that, they take responsibility for that remark.
Okay.
That remark is not binding on the central government.
Okay.
The central government still decides on its own. But that state government will then have to answer the people of India and the press that they took a stand.
True.
So why do you preempt that process?
No,
why do you preempt that process?
Can I tell you why I am taking up this case so strongly tonight? Kiran Bedi, can I just explain why we are taking up this case? Because there is something ghastly. We found on June 15, there was this man, uncle of Asha Saini, who electrocuted her along with her boyfriend. And after that, he came before the cameras and said, I have no regrets whatsoever.
Absolutely.
That was why, Kiran Bedi, we are taking up this issue. There is no fear of the law.
Or no.
Yeah.
Pending the receipt of the views of the state government, and central government then is free to take its own a considered view, and obviously we should know what the view is going to be. But once, till then, let the political parties or the state governments clearly direct the police not to be lenient towards these cup murders. I think let that diktat be given.
Yes.
And number two, the Director General of the Police do not need this diktat. They can independently act to uphold the rule of law. What stops them from taking action? I think that's the key.
Yeah. No, I'm only picking this up. Only picking this up because somewhere deep within Dr. Singhvi, Siddharthnath Singh, Kiran Bedi and Girish, we are all progressive Indian citizens. We just want to see these things change, It has upset the media a lot to report about this, and sometimes one wonders why didn't the media report about it earlier. But when we have, maybe we can just change, and I think Dr. Singhvi makes a good point. The government is making an attempt, and it's not going to be easy for the government to push it. But the BJP needs to encourage it. The BJP needs to encourage the government in this process.
I think when it comes to BJP,
I want to make a
when
point
the government puts it to the BJP will give a very structured response, and we will be supporting the government provided it comes up with a legislation.
Absolutely, and people will bring their faith back in the political process if and when this happens. Dr. Singhvi, Siddharthnath Singh, Girish and Kiran Bedi, thank you for raising your voice on this very important subject tonight. Thank you so much for raising your voice. And on the other side, on the News Hour tonight, it's an all-European final, and this time the octopus is not predicting what's going